This is Professor Michael Chapman. I'm one of the most experienced IVF doctors in Australia. I believe that an important part that I can contribute is to educate patients in relation to fertility, infertility, and all that involves. These series of podcasts help to educate you. I hope they are helpful to you. If you wish to know more, however, I'm more than happy to have you contact me via email, which is profmchapman@gmail.com, or make an appointment to see me on 9138 4222.
Prof, we have some questions from live viewers. I'm going to just read them both out, and then you can go back and I'll repeat them if necessary. Saleh asks, how can I improve my egg quality? And also, Natalie asks, how long can you store embryos?
A quick one for that second question is basically forever. Some states in Australia used to have a time limit for no really good reason other than they're sitting there doing nothing. But basically from a scientific point of view, they can sit there forever. But in some states it's 10 years. The clinic has to contact you to say your embryos have been here for 10 years. What do you want us to do with them? Now, in fact, that decision-making about what to do with the embryos is something many couples or many people put off doing. They don't want to make the decision to, even though they've finished their families, what to do with them. A small percentage do decide to donate them to another couple who haven't got eggs or sperm, but many have a view that's almost like adopting a child out, and do you really want to do that? So not many do it that way. Mostly we end up thawing the embryos on behalf of the couple or a person, and then once they sit on the bench and warm up, the cells break down, and that's the end of the embryo. I had a couple of patients actually take their embryos and do a formal burial and plant a tree in that spot, which is, I can understand the emotions associated with that. Okay, back to the question on how do I improve egg quality? Okay, I believe I would become a billionaire within 6 months if I could find something that I could give to patients to improve their egg quality. To date, there's a massive amount of research trying to find things that will make eggs better. But unfortunately, none have been successful. We keep trying, but almost all of them either have had trials that show no benefit or trials where they weren't properly managed trials. And that's the problem with this area, is that if you have eggs that don't fertilise this cycle and then next cycle they do fertilise without changing any regime whatsoever, change the same drugs, the same everything, there will be patients that get pregnant in the next cycle without doing anything. However, if after that poor cycle somebody goes to the internet and goes to a naturopath or acupuncture or whatever, and they get pregnant the next cycle, it would seem that whatever they've gone through has helped. But it's probably garbage. And certainly randomized controlled trials where you compare treatments with no treatment or treatment with another treatment that we know doesn't work, there's evidence that it doesn't work, all of those randomized studies really have come up with nothing that we can stand up and say, yes, this is the answer. The quality of egg is predominantly determined by changes within the cell, within the egg cell, which deteriorate over time. To get a good egg, you need to have the right chromosome makeup just prior to fertilization. It's got to have 23 chromosomes in the egg. It started out with 46, but in the last hours before fertilization, the egg kicks out half the chromosomes because they come in 23 pairs. the 23 single chromosomes are left behind, and that's what is a normal embryo. That process of kicking out the others and lining them up in the right order requires energy. Like the egg's it's got a battery inside it. And sadly, like many of us, as you get older, those batteries get tired or disappear. In the egg, those batteries are called mitochondria, and they're the ones that create energy within the cell to make all the things in the cell work properly. And the number of mitochondria in cells declines with age. So what have people tried to do? People have tried taking younger women's mitochondria and put them into eggs that have grown old with less mitochondria. Did it work? 1 or 2 case reports around the world, but also a series of patients where it made no difference whatsoever. The next is whether we can find some drug that switches on the energy sources and that switches on the processes that make energy. There are claims that NMN, which is a stimulator of that energy pathway in mice, might help in the adults. Again, randomized controlled trials to date have not shown any benefit.
And don't forget that you can access all the previous episodes by going to our website www.theivfjourney.com and select IVF Journey podcast from the navigation menu.